Hi, it's Gary Kayye. We're here at InfoComm 2017, halfway through day 2. I'm here with Ariel Marcus and Elron Torin. They are the founders of Media Solutions. First of all, Ariel, how's the show been for you?
It's been quite interesting, a lot of interest around the products that we're providing, and we look forward to continue.
And Elron, you must be excited because, in my opinion, you have one of the best, if not the best, new products since HDBaseT came out, because you solve a lot of the HDBaseT problems. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, listen, the traffic is being amazing. We have many installers coming and telling us again, guys, we needed you a long time ago. Where were you?
Okay, so here's what they do. They have a box that is basically a transmitter and receiver, okay? Simple transmitter and receiver, and all you do is you send HDBaseT through the box into the receiver. You put one at one end, one at the other end, and it tells you whether the signal is clean or not and how close it is to not being clean. And that's the key, because even though it's working, it may not be working well, or it may be working right under the threshold of it not working. And then when you step up in resolution, because as you know recently, HDBaseT is like, oh yeah, you can do 4K, here's exactly how to do 4K. But the problem is it's super sensitive. We're going to show them exactly what we mean by that. So this, in my opinion, not only is this a product that every installer should have, right? Every installer should have, but probably if you're an installation with a lot of HDBaseT, like a school where you've done all your classrooms, the school needs one. Like the customer needs one. So if you got one room that's HDBaseT, let your installer deal with it. But if you're a customer that you own a whole bunch of HDBaseT based rooms, you need one, and especially as you go up to 4K. So let's demonstrate this. We did this beforehand, and let's first explain how this works. If you'll come on in here, you'll see that on the LCD display here we get a readout. Well, first of all, it determines the configuration that we're in. We're sending the signal from whatever distance. We get a readout from the transmitter and the receiver of what's going on, which signals are connected, which level of HDBaseT we're doing, what part of the HDBaseT signal we're getting. Now, this is one of the big problems with HDBaseT, is that there's different types of HDBaseT, even though the HDBaseT Alliance wants you to think there's one type, because there's 5 different signals that are supposed to be running through HDBaseT, and some manufacturers only run 3 signals to it, Elron, right?
Yeah, they do. 1 play, a 2 play, a 3 play.
That's my term. You're still in my term. 1 play, 2 play, 3 play. This tells you, first off, which play it is. Are they just running video? Are they running video and audio? Are they running video audio control? Are they adding Ethernet?
Is activated, Ethernet is activated, and sometimes, it doesn't work.
Right. You don't know why it's not working. Well, this tells you, well, the reason why IR is not working, they're not transmitting IR. Right?
They're actually not supporting that. The 5 play elements that the HDBaseT declare are not mandatory for the users.
That's a problem.
It's dependent on how you look at it, but I agree. And in order to understand exactly the configuration of the system, it will be the best way to see what each unit is supporting, and then you do the integration between the different modules.
Yeah, so like, for example, if you have Extron transmitters, Crestron receivers, or Aurora transmitters and Geffen receivers, you'll know whether they work together, because you'll know that they're sending all 5 signals, or are they just sending 3 signals. That's the first thing it does. The second thing it does, come back in here, the other thing it does is, if you hit the performance button here, it's going to actually measure the signal and tell you how close it is to the threshold. As long as you're below these lines here, and I'll let Elron explain what these lines represent and what we're actually looking at, because this one's actually fairly well below the threshold of those lines.
Yeah, what we can see here, that this installation is under the yellow threshold, is in the green zone. If an installer sees this kind of installation, he's in the safe zone, he can go, and they will not call him because of HDBaseT link issues, okay?
Right, so then, now, this is what we're now this is just like a typical install. The good thing about this is now you know you got about a 40% headroom on that. You know that you're not going to have any problems. But here's a good, now they also have a web interface for this, so you can connect this to the net, connect it to a computer through the internet, and get the same reading. And so we're going to show you the version of this on the computer screen. So now we switch the same signal, same source, same display, same cable, sending 4K 30 through HDMI, and look what happens. You're right under the threshold. In fact, it's moving. In fact, right as you started looking at it, it actually went beyond the threshold. What happens here is the cable is, when you're this close to the threshold, you're going to probably have problems because everything might not operate perfectly.
As long as you're green zone, other than the yellow line, the integration and the connection will be working okay.
Right, but then what we notice is that look how close this is getting. So what happens is, as we get higher in resolution and more signals going through there, Ariel, one of the problems we're going to run into is, and we'll keep looking at that as we're talking, is that that's going to cause interference and problems in the signal. And it might be working sometimes and not working sometimes, and you don't even know what's going on with the signal, what's keeping it from working.
Exactly. The moment that you are very close to the threshold lines and you have a disturbance that coming on the category cable, it might influence the signal quality, and there is a good possibility that you will exceed the threshold. This can cause you a pixel loss or a video drops. It's depend on the implementation. So the main thing that installer would like to have is to have the signal as deep as possible in the green area.
Right, and so the cool thing about this tool, this test equipment here is that, well, first of all, I think hopefully if you do HDBaseT, this should be obvious to you why you should have this in your kit. If you're out doing installs, you have to have this in your kit. Because number one, it gives you confidence right away that everything is wired properly. Because let's face it, the majority of the problems here come from the wiring. The termination of the ends is one of the problems that we run into. Using cheap cable, cheap termination, we didn't do a good job terminating it. But number two, once you send a signal through it, right, and we're sending the actual signal that the customer is going to use, that's the key, not just a test signal, we're actually able to see how close it is to the threshold and how likely or unlikely we are to have a problem.
Exactly. By the way, you're seeing A, B, C, and D on the display. This is representing each one of the pairs on the category cable according to the 568 A or B termination that you're doing. So you're able also to obtain specifically on a specific pair if you have an issue. So
you can fix that specific pair and you know where the problem is.
You can fix that specific pair and you can know where the problem is.
And one last feature, this product's called Test Pro, by the way, and it's Media Solutions, okay, Test Pro. One last little thing, this is a cool feature too. The integrator can actually print out a report for the customer to show them, to verify, look, we have checked out this system and we guarantee you its validity of the system. So let's take a look at that report. This report is generated in PDF, and the customer literally gets a test report of exactly the quality of the signal, and it's sort of like a confidence that the customer gets that everything is okay, and it's also more importantly a confidence that the integrator gets that it's actually going to work.
Yeah, it's a 100% confidence that this link will work on a 4K transmission or a 1080p transmission.
And this is, again, called the MS Test Pro, MS because of Media Solutions. Correct. And it's called the Test Pro. It's now shipping, right?
Yeah, we're shipping it, and it's being sold and accepted by the market very well.
And to find out more information, go to their website, which is simple, M as in media, M4, the number 4, SOL.com. So M4SOL.com. Elron, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I love this product. I think, now you know, as the viewers know, I'm not a big fan of HDBaseT only because I think it's a great signal transmission methodology. The one thing that I don't like about it, as you know, is that I believe the HDBaseT Alliance doesn't do a good enough job managing their own standard. They're not telling you what each manufacturer is doing. This is a way for you to know exactly, instantly, what each manufacturer is doing, which signals they're sending, which of the 5 signals they're sending, and have the confidence to know that the gear is going to work together. This is a great idea. I love this product. One of the best products in the show floor. Ariel, thank you very much for joining me today, and congratulations, because you have a hit on your hands. Every integrator needs to buy one of these.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're looking forward to provide those on the market.
Well, they want to sell them, so you need to buy them. M4SOL.com.